Friends, welcome back to another exciting webisode. My name is Christian. In September, Riccardo Tisci will have his first collection at the English heritage brand Burberry. And as your spirit guide, I will speculate on what I think that might look like based on Riccardo's illustrious legacy, his 12 years at Givenchy, and what I think might happen with Burberry this fall. Let's jump in. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the channel and follow me on Instagram because this content just keeps on rolling. So let's begin. So right now Burberry is in between designers and we're all just waiting to see what Riccardo is cooking up. And as far as design house in between, I think that they are at least drumming up some more interest in Burberry. I've seen it more and more on Instagram and stuff like that, kind of influenced by Christopher Bailey's last collection with kind of the Pride rainbow stuff. A lot of those designs, like the sweatpants, and seeing it on Instagram, I've been seeing people interested in it, and I think it's kind of a safe bet, these designs that are on trend, because at least they're inspiring or bringing people into the Burberry right before Riccardo gets there. Like compared to what Calvin Klein did right before Raf got there, their collections were almost like capsule collections. It was almost like they were a label in waiting, and they weren't necessarily inspiring people to take a look or to get interested once Raf finally started to show his real collections. In order to kind of even guess what Riccardo might do at Burberry, we should look at what he did at Givenchy. He brought a lot of money in, and he was an extremely competent designer in terms of very elegant couture, and he has a really keen eye for streetwear and more of the trendier pieces. 2013 collection, ready to wear fall, is an excellent example. I see pieces from that collection all the time still, which I guess shows kind of its lasting power and how it kind of is aesthetically cool and inspires people. Bambi print. It's the half and half. There was a couple sweatshirts like this. We've got Bambi on one half and a kind of, I don't know what you call it, maybe like kind of a Baroque design painting kind of print on the other. I think that the Bambi print is cool because we've got this Disney thing, which is not necessarily considered a piece for, is not necessarily in the canon of high fashion, and paired with like this Baroque or maybe, well, really realistically like 18th century type of painting design printed next to it. Additionally, we saw a lot of that, I would also call it Baroque, the floral prints. Specifically, one piece that I've seen in person and I think is super cool is this boiled wool jacket. It's got this all over floral print, and what's super cool about these prints is like they have a black background and they've got this red and pink and all these different colors like maximalized all over it. And Tisci has, one of the things he's done well is when he has these all over prints, he can kind of style them in a way that's interesting aesthetically. And like this floral print, I've seen it on, it's been reused in at least like maybe cousins of this print have been reused on everything from shirts to bags to pants. And Kim Kardashian wore that kind of print in a runway when she was pregnant. His most iconic prints, and it's not just all about the prints, but this is something that kind of stands out with his time at Givenchy, but the Rottweiler is probably something that people associate with Givenchy still. It's this, like often it would be like a huge sweatshirt or like with the bags, and it's this very shocking, even scary print. And it was one of those pieces that really demonstrated his understanding of kind of like of streetwear, of combining the streetwear and the high fashion. The shark tooth necklace was a piece that was super popular from his collections at Givenchy. It's a big costume jewelry necklace with a large gold shark tooth, and this is interesting because he's taking like a boardwalk necklace and he's making it into something that's kind of a statement. It's a statement jewelry piece that was super coveted and desirable, and it captures this kind of what's the right word? Unorthodox style that he brought to Givenchy. I would be remiss if I don't mention the kilt, the leather kilt. You know, a moment in time. I always think of the Lamborghini Mercy music video. When I think of that, I think of that Kanye era. When I think of the leather kilts, it's a narrative that's gothic and kind of spooky and modern, because it's still rooted in Tisci's ability to craft elegant garments and craft silhouettes that are fascinating and beautiful. So, those are kind of the things. That's just kind of like an overview of the 12 years he spent at Givenchy, and what is on everybody's brain box right now is what he's going to do at Burberry. We're going to see in September, but we've already gotten kind of a taste. We've seen the new designed Burberry logo. It's like sans serif, and it says like Burberry in like London, England or something underneath it. So this logo, I don't really see it being super Burberry to me. But I mean, like, I don't want to jump the gun, because I think that when we see Riccardo's collection, we might get a better idea of how he thinks that this very modern logo fits into his vision for Burberry. But at least my immediate interpretation is a lot of fashion brands have like a sans serif font. Like, that kind of modern font isn't, I don't know, it's not that cool. It seems like a thing like Balenciaga has, and like, I don't know, so many others do. And if that's just an attempt to make a brand modern, it's just not interesting. Like, compared to like Loewe's font right now. Loewe's font looks a little older. It's got those serifs, and it really fits into the DNA of this heritage Spanish design house. You know, something that people call like the Hermes of Spain. That, and the Loewe font, it just feels really cool and interesting as compared to in a sea of so many very modern designer fonts. The other thing that we've seen so far is this new interlocking pattern with the B. So I think that this pattern is very cool. It's on trend, and I could see things being produced, whether it's bags or clothes or whatever, scarves, with this interlocking pattern, because it's really what's trendy right now. We're seeing the Gucci Supreme canvas, like, that's everywhere, and that's an interesting look. When we're seeing like Dior, did Kim Jones do that? I'm sure he did. I'm sure he utilizes the Dior repeating pattern. So the fact that Riccardo decided to make one for Burberry, I think that I think he can make some cool stuff with it, but I think I'll be more interested to see how he utilizes the signature Burberry plaid, because that is really in tune with the DNA of the fashion house. It would be really cool to see new trench coats. Trench coats are the backbone of Burberry. It's why the house was formed, was to create these coats. And I think that it's a time, like, fashion-wise, coats that are like long and kind of boxy, like kind of really classically fitted trench coats will look cool. And I think that that's one piece that if we see a lot of that in the runways or the shows, I think that's going to go over well. But Tisci, being the designer that he is, I would be interested to see more coats that are louder. Like, if he can kind of take some of his inspiration where he did like these repeating, like the floral patterns or the paisley patterns, and creates, its own Burberry pattern. Maybe if we could see trench coats in that. Maybe if we see trench coats with prints, kind of like what he's done with sweatshirts. I think that, prints, there's so many prints, and I think that there's a thin line between making a cool Riccardo-styled Burberry jacket with a print and, avoiding it, not wanting to make it look like this is like what Raf would do, or what you would see from Off-White. So let's see if he takes those signature jackets, the Burberry's trench coats, and does something really cool with it. The other thing that I think Burberry needs a signature bag, like a handbag. It's something that is the financial backbone of like almost every design house. They all have these bags that are huge money makers for them. And at Givenchy, they had the Pandora and the Antigona bag. These were super popular bags. These are still super popular bags. And I think that it's important because I can't think of a Burberry like signature bag that women really want to buy. I could be wrong, but I think that that's really something that it's an opportunity for him to demonstrate kind of if he can create a look or create whoever's working in there, Burberry, make a signature bag. And I think that will be it's a huge opportunity. While he's said that he doesn't think of himself as a Gothic designer, his style, he incorporates a lot of this kind of Gothic feel when he was at Givenchy. And I think that Burberry, that could really work. It's a signature brand for England. London is a Gothic city. I mean, Gothic is like their architectural style. It reigns there. Those two things, that's what Gothic is. But I think that it would work well with the brand DNA if he kind of incorporates this kind of moodiness, this shadowiness into the Burberry design. I think it would work. It would feel natural and fitting and exciting to see that from Burberry. And in a similar way that Alexander McQueen, his brand was very English, and it was very in touch with that Gothic nature of, I don't know, like Victorian England, basically. So like capturing that kind of vibe, I think will work really well for Burberry. It doesn't have to be spooky. He doesn't have to scare us with scary prints. He can just do something that feels like it's in tune with the city. The spooky, rainy city of foggy London town. That I think we're going to see from Riccardo, I think we're just going to see a more of a streetwear bend to Burberry than we've seen in the past. I mean, Burberry has been maybe more preppy or maybe more buttoned up. Not in a bad way, but it hasn't necessarily been super street. I think it's gonna taste good. I think it's gonna be good. So, if you liked this video, go ahead and like it and comment and let me know what you think. I'm moving this month, which is stressful, guys. And I'm gonna try to continue to make stuff and entertain you with my ideas about what might be going on in fashion. Hopefully I'll be able to do one about Eddie Salmon at Celine before that happens, because I am on the edge of my seat to see what happens there. So stay tuned and subscribe and let me know what you think, because I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing this for you. So I'll see you next time. Peace.